What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Dunn and All Show. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Y'all ain't noticed I'm by myself. She left me. I have sad news to report. My wife is no longer on the show. She left me. Just playing. She's getting her hair done. Out of all days, it seems like she picks days like this to have her appointments, get hair done, and everything else. And I'm like, hey, we got a podcast show. They got to do. Life keeps turning, man. And we still just try to keep making it happen. Either way, I'm here. I want to know, how was y'all Thanksgiving? I want to know, how did it go? What drama did y'all have? Y'all know last time we kind of joked around about drama. We joked around about in-laws. We joked around about uncles, aunties. People bringing stuff that people don't eat. We joked about all of that. How much of it was really true? How much of it really happened to you? Like, we know how it is in our families. Did somebody have like a surprise engagement? Did somebody like say, hey, I'm pregnant? Did like the ex-baby mama, baby daddy show up? I want to hear y'all stories. I got some crazy ones. I don't even know which ones I've already shared with y'all. But I started off. Because one of the first ones that I had, not at my house, just one of these different calls I had to deal with, was somebody called and said they want to make a police report because somebody stole their chitlins. Somebody want to call and make a police report. Somebody stole their chitlins. Can't make this stuff up. Stole the chitlins. Now, considering how high chitlins are, probably could be a felonious offense. With chitlins being stolen nowadays, each bucket costs about almost $40, and that's the red dirty bucket that you still got to go back and clean. That nasty bucket. Like, by the time it gets cleaned, it's like you got about 50% of what was originally in there. So, I mean, I still like chitlins. I don't know what y'all like. Y'all tell me what you like. I like them, and it's not something that we eat every day, and it's a part of our history. It's a part of our culture. Unfortunately, I think that our America, especially Alabama, tries to water down our history. And I think us as African Americans, we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle, and really to the point of we adopt the European lifestyle without understanding our true full African American history. We've already noticed how there is a large push to take out the history, the black history, the real raw, rugged black history within the state school system, public schools system to be exact, to where the push is to make it more racist, or the push is that teaching the history will, in an effort, promote racism. I don't believe it. And when we get to the term and the notion of even Black Friday, and I know we have to be really cognizant and be really aware of Black history and how it is disseminated to us. But one, how could we trust somebody else from another culture, another race to tell us about us? And how can we trust another culture or another race to tell us the true history about us? And I'm not trying to come here and be the militant, during the holidays, but I am fully aware of what we are engaging in, as far as even the Voting Rights Act being trampled all over by the Supreme Court, and we'll get to that later. I forgot to even bring that up as far as gerrymandering, as far as how those cases could be brought up. Primarily, those cases could be brought up by individuals, could be brought up by groups, different nonprofits, you name it, and they could proceed with filing a lawsuit, litigation that is in an effort gerrymandering the voting lines, in which therefore dilutes the African American vote. In return, that has been approved. Now, I mean, I guess at this point we have to be appealed. But it seemed like this was slid in while we were so busy focusing on Puffy and Cassie and all this other stuff, and not really realizing that was slid in on us. Now it's to the point to where only the DOJ, Department of Justice, can only bring about litigation. They have to approve it before the case can move forward. Now, this is based on a right-wing support as to why this issue has moved forward the way it has. Anybody that's paid attention to the new congressional district that was added within the state of Alabama, the hell that it had to be endured before it was actually approved, because our attorney general didn't approve it on his own, even after being ordered to do so. The primarily right-wing legislators in the state office, state senators, and the state representatives overwhelmingly is conservative. They also denounced it as well. Before litigation had to come forward, they were forced to redraw the lines. Therefore, we have a new congressional district that's coming about, in which that election will take place in the race actually is going to begin really around 25, but we already have candidates that have already announced their candidacy. My last count, I think it was actually in the teens. But as far as that being able to even happen again, if gerrymandering comes about, then that will be a whole nother story as to how that case is going to be able to be moved and pushed forward. I'm gonna take some time to look into some of my notes. Wilson said they've been doing that. I remember back in school, Black History, was we were slaves, and we had MLK and then Michael Jordan, and the end of, I think he cut off. Didn't talk about it. Should have leave that red bucket alone. But yeah, so back to the Voting Rights Act. I mean, we really got to pay attention to how that just came about. And if we're not careful, we're going to go back to where we originally came from, and everything that was fought for on our behalf will no longer be in existence. And what will come about, because when people say, "Hey, we're all equal, we all have this, we all are afforded the same opportunities," as that little meme, the little boy says, bullshit. We're not afforded the same opportunities. And I know on the show, we sit here and do a lot of laughing, we'll crack jokes, but it's days like this where we get serious. And I took it upon myself to start doing some research as to the whole Black Friday notion. And we have to understand who owns Google, who owns Facebook, who owns Meta, who owns Instagram. It sure enough is not us. So why would certain portions of history that is more applicable, important to us, be left? So it was explained that for Black Friday, how it came about, the term Black Friday, as it relates to African American history, is that the Friday, actually, I think these fights occurred, or these incidents, or these different events occurred the day before Thanksgiving, if not the day of Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna play an audio clip very soon, in which there's a young lady that talks about it. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and start now and play this audio clip because I want y'all to really hear it. And after that, let me know what you think. So listen to this.
A lot of people don't know where Black Friday originally came from, so I think it's only right if I tell you. See, back then during slavery, African American slaves used to cook up a nice dinner turkey for their slave masters. And they'll also entertain them throughout the night, making the black men fight against each other. See, they would force the slaves to entertain their family and friends. Then they'll vote on which slave was the best entertainer, and also which one was the worst entertainer. The loser was then sold for auction the next day, which they called Black Friday. See, because the slave purchasers knew the day following Thanksgiving that there would be an auction. So they'll go prepare for the sale. So they will all get up early, hoping to be the first one in line for the Black Friday sale of the slaves that lost the prior night on Thanksgiving. Similar to what y'all do till this day, how everyone try to be the first ones up so they can get in line to go to the stores to get the Black Friday sales. Hundreds of slave owners would show up hoping to be the first to purchase the slaves that were on sale. This was the one day out of the year that the slave prices were reduced to go on sale. What's even crazier is people have told this story multiple times, and they was actually supposed to change the name from Black Friday to something else for these sales that they have going on. But instead of changing the name, they decided to wipe away the history. You can't even look it up on Google no more. It'll say that all this information is false. But years prior, it will be on Google. But now, they just erased it. So instead of doing something that was right and just change the name of it and do something different, they decided to just say, shoot, F black people. We gonna do it how we want to do it. We gonna keep it how our ancestors did it. That right there, folks, is the real Black Friday.
Dang. There you have it. There you have it. Now, when I heard this, now I've heard this before, but then you gotta know that everything that we do, everything we hear is all on social media, and we run with it. But what the young lady said was very true, because when I go back and try to actually research it, is like literally AP tried to debunk it. And so this is what they stated. It said, claim the term Black Friday originated with the practice of selling us off of slaves the day after Thanksgiving. Said AP's assessment says that's false. That the term was linked to a financial crash in the late 1800s, and in the mid 1900s became associated with shopping the day after Thanksgiving. Said the facts. Now this is what they said, the facts. This ain't what I'm saying, the facts. Said the facts. In the run up to the Thanksgiving holiday, false claims trying the term Black Friday to the sale of the slaves recirculated on Facebook and Twitter. Some of the posts included a photo available through the State Library of Victoria in Australia that shows a group of indigenous prisoners in neck chains in Western Australia. The photo is dated from 1898 to 1906. In 1869, financiers Jay Gould and James Fisk tried to corner the gold market by buying up the gold to drive up the prices, but the scheme backfired, and then the market crashed on September 24th, 1869, leading to the day that is now called Black Friday. I don't believe it. And time has proven over and over and over again how so many things have been used and coined to cover up history, to make it look better, to say that didn't happen. If I was talking to my wife just yesterday, and I had a moment, and I told my wife, I said, my great grandparents were actual slaves. My grandmother was born in 1913. All right. And this is on my mom's side. So I'm not sure when her parents were born, but let's just say definitely they were born in the mid 1800s. So that means that my great grandparents were born in the early 1800s. You do the math. And we know what was going on during that time. So I'm looking at the fact of how much of our history was actually erased. I said jokingly to a friend the other day, and it hit me. She said, "Shut your black butt up." She didn't say that nicely, but she was just poking fun. She didn't say that to be malicious. But then I said, "I'm mixed." Again, knowing I'm not mixed, I said it in a joking manner. Again, none of it was meant to be serious. But then I had a moment to where I literally thought about like, none of us are truly African American. Presidents dating back to Abe Lincoln and Thomas Jefferson were all slave owners. Presidents in the United States were slave owners. And as much as they hated us, they loved our woman. They loved the shape of our woman, loved their lips, loved their hips. And as much as they didn't want to admit it, they loved their skin tone. Because Bessie or Becky or whatever her name was, Mary Ann didn't have it. She didn't have it. So therefore, the slave masters went and didn't have sex with the slaves. They would consistently rape the slaves. The young that were produced were put into rotation to be slaves themselves and sold off, highest bidder. And I hate when I get texts when I'm over here doing this stuff here. All right, maybe saying check the comments. I can't check comments and do all this stuff at the same time. She wants me to read it. All right, so here we go. So let me go ahead and read some of the comments. It's a must that we teach our babies. That's why me and my wife go out of our way to teach our kids our history, because Black history is watered down in our school system. It's watered down. And I went to predominantly Black school in a predominantly Black city. So, I mean, again, babe, I thank you for letting me know to read these comments, and I have been reading them, and I'm taking them to heart. And Jay, yeah, you definitely have to get on the show, man. Let me know a good day for you, and congrats with what you got going on. We definitely need to link up. So, and I'm gonna get back to y'all's comments again in a little bit, but the significance of our history, we don't know our name. My last name is not Dunn. To be honest, I don't know what the hell my last name really is. I know to a certain point of where we actually originated only after crossing the Pacific as far as my family. But the crime in this is that, and the most hurtful portion of this is not knowing who we really are. We are one of very few cultures that walk around so aimlessly because we really don't even know us. And when we get money, we go into these other neighborhoods in these gated communities to where they are quote unquote not accepting you. They're dealing with you because you're our token Black person in the community now. And I'm gonna hit you with a little bit of truth. All my police officers, if I were to walk to your establishment and I got my hood on, I'm gonna demonstrate, take these headphones off. I got my hoodie on, then what am I? But the moment to where I got that uniform on, I got that badge on and that gun. It's like, oh, thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service. But when I'm walking through the store or the mall or whatever, and I'm just relaxing, I got my relaxing clothes on, I'm just a regular old Negro. And I know it. But when we go into these neighborhoods, they say, oh yeah, he's a police officer. If we go into a predominantly white neighborhood, we'll get accepted off the top, because I guess we represent. Let me see, what's the best way to put it? We represent what America's built on, the core values of America. Okay. I represent what I've been raised to believe. I represent those that have built me, those that have created me, those that have sacrificed for me. I represent that. I represent on educating my community on what we need to do to move forward. I recognize that there are strength in numbers, that we all must collaborate, but especially African Americans, we must come together because we are already behind the curve. Now, with Black Friday that just occurred, a lot of stores suffered. I heard some numbers that were shifting out to say, I think it was like $260 billion that were projected to be spent in these companies were going to gross from Black Friday. But they never did mention what the past numbers were, especially as how they relate to inflation. So after these corporations and after these factories and all these larger entities are able to look at their overhead, how much did they net? We're not talking about how much they gross, because the numbers can be very deceiving and fooling. Because if this were 20 years ago and you bought a $500,000 house, you would be like, man, that's going to be a real dope, nice house. But we fast forward now to 20 years later, $500,000 buys you a nice house. It's a nice house. That's what you say. It's a nice house. But 20 years ago, a $500,000 house was a dope house. Like super dope. That was really nice. See, we have to take that into context when they give us numbers. So we're not fooled and it's not a bunch of smoke and mirrors. We have to be cognizant of how the number games is played. Every agency plays the numbers game. They show you certain numbers in order to divert your attention from what's really going on, or they will recode certain events so it does not fall and mess up the numbers of what they really are. So they'll recode certain things. Now, I ain't telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I exactly know. And some of my people that's on this live know exactly what I'm talking about, where things get recoded and then they get presented back to you. And you would think, oh, well, this is okay. I'm gonna give you a good example when talking about recoding, and I can't blame UAB for doing this. But UAB, the actual UAB college campus, the actual UAB hospital, actual UAB, one of the best medical facilities in the Southeast, hands down. As far as the work that they do in the ER, they do an amazing job. But when it comes to their college and when it comes to their recruiting, there are only certain numbers that they're able to report. Now, when I say able to report, per their leadership, if something heinous were to happen enough, and if they can throw that number onto the city of Birmingham, they're going to do that, because otherwise they're going to have to report those numbers when it comes to recruiting. In their informational packets and their booklets, they got to state how many burglaries they had, how many robberies they had, how many thefts they had, rapes, all this stuff. And they want to keep those numbers low. So either they're going to recode it differently. They're going to take that incident where somebody broke into a car where it was a felony, where it just said just a misdemeanor theft. So if stuff get recoded or get put off on another agency, then we're able to cover up what really happens. So let's go back to what I originally discussed when I was discussing about how history is being presented. If we don't, I mean, let's be honest. What group really want to tell you how bad they really are, the bad they've really done? They trying to save face, and to be honest, it's not saving face all in the name of doing right. A lot of it reverts back to money. You know, we want to save face. The same thing you would see in the NFL and the NBA during COVID, and when Black Lives Matter was really running rampant and really forcing these companies to do XYZ. They did all that stuff for one season or whatever. After that, you hadn't heard anything else. Nothing else. It was all on the courts. It was all on the jerseys. It was all everywhere. So where do we see it at now? Do you see it in the NFL? No. So we got food. We got bamboozled. I'm gonna read the comments. So you getting spicy talking about UAB? Yeah, exactly. And Weston said that's why I don't tell people what I do. I don't even tell people what I do. Sometimes I bring it up in the show, but you're not gonna really see it on my social media for real. I don't really tell people what I do. You know, besides, you know, the business aspects, but I don't get into like, you know, my regular quote unquote 9 to 5, because now it's gotten to something that I can't even be proud of the way that I would like to, because of how the direction that things are going. It's a lot of politics associated with it. And I'm one of those guys that I've always been vocal. I've always spoken in the words, look, King, I stood on business. Shout out to King Harris. Yeah, son, that's a whole other show where we're going to talk about what happened with that situation. But I stand on mine. And when you stand on yours, you end up getting pushed or not get let in certain doors. It is what it is. The route that I've traveled, it has not been the smoothest route. It's been a little rickety, a little bumpy, but at the end of the day, I can still be proud of the person that I see in the mirror, and I'm fine with me. People have sold their soul to the devil and to anybody else to the highest bidder in order to get in certain positions. They're willing to trample on you and do whatever, all in the goodness sake, and you know, of the company. They'll tell you, I'm sorry, this is, you know, in the best interest of the company. And we understand that, you know, when the way things have to get handled company wise. But there's a way, and a way a message can be delivered when those situations come about. And we just get food. I don't want to name the names. I'll probably, if I keep talking about it, I'll probably get too deep. Because we live in a cancel culture. Next thing you know, they be like, hey, we're gonna take Dunn out this little podcast, or we finna go after Dunn, you know, whatever. I got people, if you really want to see who listening to you or watching you, do a story, and then that's it. Don't stop posting stuff to where you can't audit your trail of people that are watching you, or you know, you stop having it to where only thing you can see is the likes. Set up an audit trail to where you're doing a story, to where even if they're actually viewing your video, whatever it is, or even your picture, you're going to see how many people viewed it versus how many people liked it. Because you have so many admirers out there that don't want to let you know that they like you. They don't want to let you know that they're proud of you. They'll present a negative presentation. I can't stand him or her, but you always looking on their page. You're always lurking on their page. You always trying to be nosy to see what they're doing. Mind your business that pays you. I'll say it again. Mind your business that pays you. But worry about what everybody else is doing. You do your thing, you move accordingly. Mind your business. So let me go back to some of my notes, some of my comments I got here. The social justice movement hurt the bottom line, and plus they were lying about being involved in that movement. Let me open this up a little bit more. Them leagues don't even want to hire black coaches, not even to mention, and they don't want to hire, don't want black ownership. Yes, but as far as the NFL, yes, they don't. They don't, because if you really talk candidly with those coaches, they will say, "Man, heck, we already got the league dominated by black athletes. I mean, if we hire them as coaches, then, you know, and GMs, then what about us? What room will there be for us?" See, those uncomfortable conversations when they say that we're equal. How are we equal? How are we equal? How are schools equal? Is the Hoover City school system equivalent to the Bessemer City school system, or even the Birmingham City school system? Why isn't it? I mean, it's not like say, oh yes, it is. I mean, no one actually could say that. You know, whether you live in Hoover or whatever. You know, the thing about it is, why isn't it equal? Why aren't we afforded the same opportunities? Why can't a person that lives in a different area that has a kid that's really bright, and they're trying to say, hey, I want my kid to go to this school, you know, maybe we can test them, get in there. Oh Lord, and don't start me on testing. That'll be a whole nother show, because even standardized tests in themselves are racist. Overwhelmingly, African Americans underperform on standardized tests. Those tests were not designed with African Americans in mind. It is not based on us. It's not based on our experiences, and it damn sure is not based on our education. Because if this material is being produced by those that attended the better schools, which we would only assume, then how could you also deduct that the person that went to the more impoverished school would be able to perform on a child that was in a school that was more affluent? So how could we actually rate them the same? They're not equal. I'm gonna get to Jay's comment. Said, Jay, you have to come by. Oh yeah, you have to come by my new studio. To my understanding, the land was once where slaves were forced to pick cotton. Wow, that's amazing. Jay, you said, do I have a call-in number? Jay, I think we do, and I'm trying to find it. It was posted up here somewhere. If Brittany, I think Brittany's on here and she's watching. Hey, Brittany, if you know that call-in number, post it on here. It used to be on a sticker over here, and I don't see it. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't have that call-in number. Jay, but this what I'm gonna do. I'm going to actually inbox you my cell number, and I'll put you on through my cell. So stand by. I'm about to send it to you now. Give me just a minute, everybody. Be good to get Jay on there. If y'all haven't been following Jay, check him out. Jay Walker. He's been interviewing some great people. I got to get him on the show. We're going to be talking business. I like what this young guy doing. He's actually a product of Pleasant Grove, as a matter of fact. Jay, check your inbox. I just sent you my cell. Check your inbox, Jay. Let's see. I'm about to text him right now. I have your cell number already. Okay, got it. Well, call that, Jay. That's what we're gonna do, and then I'll go ahead and get Jay on, and I'll let Jay give his standpoint. Again, y'all need to follow Jay Walker, Jay Walker. And we're gonna get him on this show. Eventually, we may merge both of the shows together. Heck, I may get on his show. Y'all can watch me over there. But Jay's doing some great things. He made a note that said that, to his knowledge, that the land that they purchased, and I think they purchased some land over there in Bessemer, was actually a area where slaves actually picked cotton. I don't doubt that. Bessemer was once an area that was actually as far as slaves ownership wise. A lot of that was going on. So we're gonna put Jay on. Let's get him on the speakerphone. Jay.
What's up, OG? Am I live on air right now?
You live on air right now, man.
What's going on, Dunn?
Man, what's going on with you, bro? Congrats on everything you got going on, man.
Thank you. I wanted to call in and personally congratulate you and your wife on y'all show, man. I love the show. I love the conversation that y'all have on the show. Actually, I want to follow a format of y'all's. Actually, next year I'm breaking away from this interview and I want to talk about topics going in the community. So I wanted to commend y'all for what y'all doing, and people are watching, and I'm watching, and I really appreciate what y'all doing because these conversations are fast and so I just wanted to call in and congratulate y'all on everything that y'all are doing right now.
Hey man, we appreciate it. She would have been on the show today, man, but you know how wifey she had to get her hair done. I said, you put your hair appointment on today, but you know, hey, you know, me and her, you know, we move so much. To where, dude, is like it's a lot of moving parts, and I know you understand that.
I'm saying, like, what don't you do? This man, a city councilman, a mayor, a ticket.
He said, a mayor, speak it in existence. So, man, how's it going with your project, man? Tell me about your project.
So, what we did was a couple of months ago. Last year actually, I set aside because I went to some studios, I wanted to develop some stuff, and folks they were like, no, because you're so young and we won't do it. So a couple of months ago, actually the old Food Word in Bessemer, I had tried to acquire that, but we just didn't get to a great point, and it was just a property. So what we did was Amazon, they built all of these different buildings in Birmingham and thought they were going to need them for extra space, but apparently they didn't.
Yeah.
So what me and my team did, and with the help of some investors, we went and we purchased a little over 100 acres from Amazon, and we acquired a building that they didn't use, and we're going to turn it into a movie production studio. We're going to have retail center out there. So it's just a blessing to be a blessing to somebody.
Man, that's awesome, man. You said as far as like movie productions and things like that, or that's your focus.
It's time, and it's the largest in the state. You are the largest film production studio in the state of Alabama.
Man, that's
103 acres of land, and it's all in my home city of Bessemer, Alabama.
Yeah, you know I'm original Bessemer native, man. Bravo, man, right around the corner from Roosevelt City Park off of Brewer Drive.
Oh yeah, and we're right down Powder Plant Road, and actually up the street from Amazon, the Amazon building where they actually work at, and we're actually up the street from Alabama Special Adventures, and everybody's happy about it. I got some investors happy about it, so everybody's happy, man. People say you trying to be the next town, you trying to be the next. I'm trying to be the first church.
Hey man, I heard that, man. And speaking of that, we just left from Georgia just last week. We had a political convention, and I don't know if you paid attention to what's going on. You know, Tyler Perry got a studio which is like over 300 and some odd acres. However, the Gray that owns like Fox 6 and whatnot, he built the studio called The Assembly. Have you heard about it?
I've heard about it. Yeah, I used to work for him.
Yeah, so he built that. So I'm like, then they call it the biggest production studio in the state. I'm like, no, Tyler Perry is sitting on over 300 plus acres.
Yeah,
and theirs is like 70 something. Even though they got 100 whatever acres or whatever. I think they're only using they built the studio like on about 70 whatever acres or something of that nature. But the show we were talking about as far as opportunities being presented to us, and it's like once we try to merge and we try to move forward, it's like they try to come around and circumvent us or move us. I don't understand, but there's strength in numbers as far as us really working together, man. And salute to you, and what you're doing, man. And I really want to see, the continuous growth in what you're doing. If I can be of any assistance, let me know.
Mentor, OG, big brother, all
yeah,
that stuff.
Man. Like we said.
I remember maybe people don't know I'm actually 20. I'm actually 20 years old. And I remember like 4 years ago when I was like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Because some years ago I was at the school. I was just starting my show, and I said, I want to get you on my show. I want to get you on my show, man. And I remember saying, it's just a little show. So he said, man, don't say that. Don't say that, man. Don't do that. Do that to yourself.
exactly, man. Because people, we got to stop calling our stuff little, and we sure don't let anybody else call our stuff little. Because what we doing, man, is ordained by God. I mean, otherwise it just would have never even happened in the first place. And it really doesn't matter what path you travel. Whether you go through the ceiling, the front door, the back door, the trap door, just get in the building. Just get in the building. It don't matter how you got in there. Get in there.
Go build your own.
Or go build your own. There you go.
That's what we doing. We building our own, and it's going to be called the Dream Center because it's a dream. And I want people to come here and just dream. It's a place where dreamers can dream, man. It's going to be state of the art. I'm so thankful to our investors and Service First Bank. I'm so thankful to Plan B Investment, everybody who believes in the business. And wow, it's just we're investing into the future. We talk about generational wealth all the time. We create it. It's just so amazing. I'm so applauded by it. Like, wow.
Wow, man.
100,000 square feet.
That's
actually the building is 300,000 square feet, but over 100,000 square feet for our what we're gonna do. It's just amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. We definitely looking forward to seeing your continued progress, man.
And the wife gotta come through.
Hey, you know what? Just let us know. Like I say, you got my cell. And people don't realize, you graduated Pleasant Grove, right?
Pleasant Grove High School. I was smart.
There we go. I
was in one of those classes you came and mentored to the people about my time.
Yeah. See, he remembered the Ties to Success program. See, you see how paths just cross around. It's amazing how things end up just turning full circle.
You and Mr. Walter Johnson. That's one of my OGs too.
See, man, and you know what? I tell you this, and I live by this. If anything or anybody that I've been affiliated with, to help them or tell them something positive, whatever it is, words of encouragement, whatever it was that was positive that I gave them, what it is, I mean, we're a team. If you win, we all win. We all win. And if we really adopt that philosophy just collectively, and then we go back and we reach back and we gonna get those that's ready to be on that winning team. Because the thing about winning, it comes with a hell of a lot of effort that people are just not willing to give. And it comes with a hell of a lot of sacrifice and a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of stress. And I don't say that to push people away. I just let people know that's what you got coming. Get yourself ready. I don't want you to get hit by a freight train. I want you to let you know that the freight train is coming. I just want you to go ahead and build up that wall strong enough so you can take it. Because it's coming. It's 100% coming. And everybody going to do everything to knock you off of your path. And unfortunately, sometimes it'll be our own kind. So, but we gonna stick this thing out. We gonna stick together. Send me a text, man. If I get done with this podcast, man, send me a text. And legitimately, like, we gonna really go through this calendar, man, and link up, man. Whether it's lunch or whatever, we gonna link up and just holler at me, man. And this ain't the end. This is really the beginning.
I want to make two exclusive announcements.
Go ahead.
One of them is really a favor. I'm begging you. One of them is an announcement. So first, I want to ask you. So when I do my groundbreaking, and I pay any price when I do my groundbreaking, would you mind bringing out you and your wife's truck?
The Berry Beast. You know what, man? It would be an honor and a pleasure.
January. Let's go January, February. I'm planning to do a groundbreaking. I'm inviting all the people out. I'm inviting, but just a little soft ground, but next year we're going to do the big grand party, Red Carpet Rollout.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man. Like I say, soon as we get those concrete dates, if we commit, then we in there. We'll never say yes to something officially and not commit. Well, if we say yes, we in there. So once you get that date solidified, get back with me ASAP, and we're gonna go through that calendar because we just added some things to the calendar already. But if we have some other things that are more repetitive, not anything, no new events, no new areas or whatever. If it's just areas that we've already been through, then we can go ahead and just reset some dates. But we can definitely the sooner and man, this is so awesome because these initiatives, these things that you doing, is things that we doing on the berries end, just providing a healthy food option with a hint of selfish indulgence, and that's one of those things that we got to educate our people on. And a lot of our people don't know about these healthy options because they weren't in our house. And to be honest, it wasn't until 3 years ago I learned what the hell acai was. I had no idea what acai. I couldn't even pronounce it. I told my wife, I said, "What is that? Acai? Who?" And once I ate some acai, man, it's been over, bro. Like we talking about eating for breakfast and putting you some fruit up in that joker and some granola, man, and drinking these smoothies. And man, man, I'm telling you, but we just being more intentional so we can actually promote a healthier lifestyle and an extended life without health complications, just for our people. And the stuff that you're doing, I'm just giving a scenario, with what you're doing with the production. Let's just say something's going on and we got a production that's going on for a period of a couple of months. You want your people to be on point. You want your people to be healthy, or your people can be like, hey, why I gotta go all the way to Hoover to get an acai bowl?
That I was telling actually Eric Guster, I saw where he said the same thing because we're technically in a food drought.
Correct.
You see all this unhealthy food. We got to go to Hoover for a healthy meal. People want to leave Planet Fitness, but they don't want to go to Captain D's. They want
correct
to go and get something healthy. Go get like a little.
See, they don't realize that what you just said got so much truth because the Planet Fitness you talking about, the Captain D's is right around the corner from it.
Man, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you talking about.
There's a piece of one in the Wingstop, right? All of the same thing.
And what's her name? Angelica, whatever. Jackson, she had it was Nothing But Salads boutique that was downtown Bessemer. Unfortunately, she made an announcement that she's getting ready to shut it down. She said because it's one thing to have the product, but she said the location is everything. She said unfortunately she's gonna have to shut the business now. She's gonna go mobile. She said, but Bessemer ain't ready yet.
Yeah.
And she had to shut it down in order to go mobile. I'm glad she's not shutting it down in the entirety because she's another one that's promoting a healthier lifestyle of living, man, and eating. And it's not like the products that she's offering, like, oh God, they don't taste good. Like, dude, you'd be surprised how good these products taste. You'll be surprised. The reason why you so you don't want to do it because you haven't been exposed. And once we get exposed to something, just like how people will automatically judge our children and say, those black kids are not as smart. I beg to differ. Because if you put them in the same environment that those that more in the affluent neighborhoods that had those opportunities, I guarantee that little black boy will outperform anything that you put up against them. Guarantee you. So we all got it in us. It's all about access and opportunity. The only thing we need is the access and opportunity, and it's up to people like you and I that's using the access that we have now and the access that we're gaining in the future in order to grant additional access to those that are behind us and or around us.
Yep.
So, but we can do it.
Yeah, I want to make an exclusive episode show, but one of them I can't make. I don't want to check for it. So I just had to deal with CBS to interview 5 major candidates.
Hold on. I saw that. Do tell.
Yeah. So I'm getting ready to interview Robert F. Kennedy, which will probably this won't be my biggest interview ever. Yet, not so far because the next one I can't announce it. But it's gonna be shocking. I think it's gonna be so big, which everybody's happy about it. So I'm getting to interview Robert F. Kennedy for CBS, and we'll be prepared for that next. So we're gonna film it here in the great city of Bessemer. Probably not Bessemer, probably in Birmingham, but we're gonna film it here in the great city of Birmingham. But I'm just excited about that. I'm really excited. God, like I'm walking in my destiny. I'm just. It's just so amazing, man. We have fun. We make money while doing what you love. It's just,
Yeah.
I know I never in a million years would have thought. This time last year, I would never thought that I would be meeting some of the people I meet and interviewing some people I interview. Like, man, this is just amazing. There is a God.
Yeah. Man, like I say, I'm proud of you. Just like that night we was out there at that Killer Mike concert, and Randall pulled up on both of us, and we both said the same thing. You never know, man, who's watching. You never know who's watching, man. And like I say, man, we got some great assets in the metro area. We got some outstanding people, man, and just having access to these people, because people can say whatever they want to say about Randall, but I ain't gonna lie, Randall is the best thing that ever happened to Birmingham right now.
Man, you tell me about it. He's a personal friend of mine. Randall's cool, and even if he wasn't a personal friend, I still say this. He's one of the best things to happen to Birmingham. Larry Langford laid the blueprint, and Randall Whippet is executed.
Larry was definitely the visionary. Larry always said the worst that they can tell me is no, and then I just come back and I try again.
Yeah,
and that was it. Larry gave my high school graduation speech. Larry was my boss at Visionland because my wife and I were the first crew there. That's how I met my wife. Larry would pull up in a drop top red Corvette, and like it was like Morgan Freeman on Lean on Me. Boy, you better pull those pants up. I want you to sit those shirt tails in, because if you can't do that, you can go ahead and clock out. You can go home. Do y'all understand me? Pull those pants up, and I want you to go ahead and pull them up now. Dude, he did not play. By the time he got to my high school graduation, I never forget his words. Man, it's amazing. It echoes 20 plus years later. He said, romance without finance is a nuisance.
Wow.
20 plus years later, this dude still reigns in my ears, in my head. He lives rent free in my head with that. And I tell my kids the same thing. Like, you can love whatever you want, but love ain't gonna pay these bills. You better get your butt out here and work.
I tell my crew, I follow the money, not the heart.
Exactly. We got bills to pay. And then as you start moving further up the food chain, and guess what? You got people and families dependent on you. Now, not just your family. These are the extended families that your crew, your staff have, and if what you have fails and you're the head, then they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
So it's
now I say, if I don't work, none of us
correct.
We have to eat. I have to work. We have to keep going. That's why you see me doing 20 different things at once, because can't be still. People got to eat.
Man,
I thank you for letting me come on. Man. I got to go over here and talk to these people now. They just pulled up and still been looking at me. So thank you so much.
Go ahead, man. Listen, chat with me. Chat with me later. Send me that text and we'll get together.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, brother. Yeah. Look at that. Man, listen here. What you say? I'm looking at Amanda. Amanda said, oh, that's how you pronounce it. Oh. Dude, yes. They try to pronounce the acai bowls. I love it. And we just educating our people on what we got out there. Man, this is awesome. I did not know this show would go so well, because I've been so low. Y'all know I do better with my better half. It's just the way things roll. So shout out to all the listeners for today. Shout out to Jay Walker for coming on to the show, man, and calling in. I was able to get him on with no other technical issues. Shout out to the Smash Bros Radio crew, the radio fam, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. So you know what? Let's make it together. Let's be a blessing together. Let's be a blessing to somebody. Let's not make it all about us, because honestly, together is the only way that we're gonna succeed. But divided, we're always gonna fail. Done it all. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a great remainder of the week. I'm out. Peace.